Well, good afternoon, everyone. 48 First Alert meteorologist Chelsea Aaron here to take you throughout the rest of your weekend and into your next work and school week. Honestly, this week ahead looking gorgeous. If you're loving today, you are going to love as we head into your Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, the possibilities really endless here. A lot of sunshine coming your way, and temperatures going to be quite warm as well. We're sitting in the 70s area wide across the region. Not even a cloud in the sky really, and we will stay completely rain free as we head throughout the rest of your weekend, with very low rain chances returning into the next week. Now let's go ahead and take a live look at Decatur. Beautiful day to be out on the water, tracking there just a barge going underneath the Tennessee River Bridge. Current temperatures pushing near 80 degrees there in Decatur. Elsewhere sitting in the lower 70s, and winds a bit breezy back out of the south, and winds will continue to steadily pick up out of the south and southwest. Check out Little Rock, Arkansas. They're near 90 degrees, and yes, 80s will likely be possible area wide once we head into your Monday. So these are going to be great days to ride down in the car with your windows down, maybe eat your lunch outdoors. Only impacts that we will be tracking is going to be the pollen counts. Without any measurable rainfall headed our way throughout the next 7, potentially even 10 days, the pollen counts will stay rather high. Keep this in mind. The grass pollen counts will really increase once we head into May, and typically grass pollen is what keeps everybody very sniffly and sneezy. 75 here in Huntsville. Muscle Shoals, 78 degrees, lower 70s there in central Alabama, including Coleman and Gadsden, and moisture levels will gradually start to increase overnight as well. Even though the moisture picks up, this is as the high pressure keeping us dry shifts a bit eastward tonight. Still no rain in the forecast, and not tracking any areas of fog overnight and through your early morning commute. That's because winds are going to stay quite elevated. Now, I would recommend securing any loose outdoor objects today, because once we head into Monday, winds will likely be gusty as high as 25, even 30 miles per hour at times through the afternoon. And this is going to be due to a very tight pressure gradient that will develop across the region ahead of our next cold front. We could see isolated showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms late Monday evening and early on Tuesday. But again, most locations staying completely dry. Skies will remain clear throughout the rest of this evening, and temperatures going to be much warmer than early this morning. Some of you even woke up to upper 30s. We did have a frost advisory for some locations, but no threat for frost, and especially no threat for freeze as we head overnight, with overnight lows staying well into the 50s. Now, areas in northwest Alabama, you're likely going to be near 60 degrees, where areas to the east will be slightly cooler in the lower and middle 50s. And again, winds will still be breezy by the time you head out the door out of the south-southwest, and they will continue to increase through the afternoon thanks to daytime heating. Plenty of sunshine from start to finish your Monday. Going to be a very nice start to your work and school week. I think I'm going to lay out by the pool. Perfect day to head out to the water if you don't have to work or don't have to be in the office. It is going to be absolutely gorgeous, especially for April standards, with afternoon highs soaring well above normal into the lower and middle 80s. And it will be a bit more humid out there. This is ahead of our next frontal boundary that will be sweeping through very slowly late Monday evening, overnight, and early on Tuesday. And here's just a look at some of those potential wind gusts. Through daybreak, expect sustained wind speeds from 10 to 15 miles per hour, but gusts could be reaching that 20 mile per hour mark. But by the time we head into the afternoon, they will continue to increase and likely range 25 to 30 miles per hour. Now, this is below wind advisory criteria, but again, if you do have any loose outdoor objects, maybe around your patio, some pillows, things of that nature, just make sure you are securing them or bringing them indoors. Winds will stay quite elevated through the afternoon and evening ahead of this frontal boundary that will sweep through later on in the day. Rain chances, like I mentioned, very low. The bulk of the rainfall will be staying to our north and east as an area of low pressure ejects toward the Great Lakes region. Areas to our north and east could see strong to severe storms. That's not in the cards for us this week. We are closely watching later on in the week for another slow moving frontal boundary to see if that threat could increase. Right now, no big signals for severe weather. Of course, if that should change, we will be the first to let you know. But overall, most of us dry, and the only noticeable change that you'll feel behind the frontal boundary are going to be temperatures dropping back near seasonal averages. So hour by hour, clouds will begin to increase late Monday evening ahead of that cold front. Few isolated showers possible as it moves through, and just based on the latest guidance, there's going to be a very substantial capping version in place. So this is really going to inhibit or limit any deep convection, maybe an isolated heavy downpour, but I think it's going to be quite hard for us to get any thunderstorms with this frontal boundary this time around. Still can't rule out maybe a heavy downpour, isolated lightning strike, but this is going to be one of our more quiet frontal boundaries that will move through, just bringing some hints of rain here and there. The rain will move out quickly. I think most areas, if not all of us in the Tennessee Valley, will be dry by the time you wake up on Tuesday, with gradually clearing skies, and winds will shift back out of the north and west. Morning lows on Tuesday in the 50s. Afternoon highs will be falling back into the upper 60s for the most part. We will struggle to reach 70 degrees on Tuesday, but with plenty of sunshine overall, still going to be a very nice spring day, but winds will remain breezy at least through Tuesday afternoon, with winds gradually diminishing through Tuesday evening. Temperatures will fall quickly with much drier air rushing back in throughout the day Tuesday. Overnight lows will fall likely into the 40s. Cool start to your day on Wednesday, but we will gradually warm back near 70 degrees on Wednesday, and then another warming trend will be expected with temperatures back near 80 degrees for the end of the work and school week. Now, with that next weather maker later in the week, could see some isolated shower and thunderstorm chances, but again, not looking at much of any measurable precipitation across the region throughout the next 7 to 10 days. And model guidance and a lot of our climatological probabilities hinting that the severe threat could be shifting off to our north and west later on in April and into May, and this is always great news for us. We will continue to monitor all of these trends for you. Easter weekend is going to be here before you know it. Some rain possible for your Easter Sunday. Temperatures very warm, lower in middle 80s, but right now the better chances for rain look to arrive early next week. Could see some thunderstorms, and temperatures will likely be staying well above normal. Again, just to recap on your 10-day, we will stay completely dry throughout the rest of your weekend. Gorgeous sunshine. Get out, enjoy it. Highly recommend it. Temperatures in the 70s today, but we're going to rebound into the 80s by the time we head into Monday. No issues with your early morning commute, and moisture levels will be increasing overnight. Despite that, not tracking any probabilities for fog once you head out the door in the morning. That's just because winds are going to stay quite elevated. Still breezy throughout the day on Monday. Wind gusts could top 25-30 miles per hour, especially along higher elevations, and those southerly southwesterly winds, that's going to boost our high temperature easily into the lower and middle 80s. We could be potentially in the upper 80s for some on Monday, and then low chances for rain, isolated showers, maybe even a thunderstorm, but right now that potential quite low at this time. Will arrive late Monday evening, overnight, and early on Tuesday. We dry out quickly, and then temperatures will be dropping back right around average for this time of year, upper 60s, lower 70s. And then sunshine galore continues through the end of the week. Maybe some added cloud cover Friday and into your Easter weekend, but still not tracking much widespread rainfall in terms of coverage or intensity as we head into your third week in April. And that's always good news because many of you probably have some Easter egg hunt plans especially once we head into next weekend. I would just keep a close eye on the forecast. Of course, this is subject to change, but right now, rain chances will likely stay in that 20 or 30% until we head early the following week. With temperatures very warm for this time of year, I believe our average high is right around 74 degrees, and we're going to be pushing into the upper 70s, lower 80s for most days, especially toward the extended forecast. We'll have more details for you coming up at 5 and 10 o'clock this evening. As always, we would love to see you there. I hope everyone is enjoying their weekend thus far. And then morning meteorologist Eric Burke will be back with you in the morning to get you through that early morning commute. I would expect your typical Monday headaches, but overall, not a bad 10-day forecast we have in store for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Everyone stay safe, enjoy the week ahead. Happy early Easter. And again, join us back at 5 and 10 o'clock. For now, we'll see you later and happy Sunday.